My circus story. Patty had eaten the last bite of her breakfast when she heard a knock at the door. Thump, 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 thumpity thump. It was the special knock of her good friend Yttap, the giraffe, and Toucan, the talking bird. It had been a good day when the giraffe had first walked down the street. They became instant friends because their names were the same when you spelled them backwards. Since then, they had gone off on many wonderful adventures together.
Hey, Patty! Tripadventure!
This morning, Toucan looked down from his perch on Yttap's head and said,
"Good morning, Patty. We know a fun place to go. If you want to come, say Tripadventure!"
Patty Sarrazin was very excited and said,
Tripadventure!
All the kids and animals in the neighborhood loved riding the giraffe. He would lower his head so everyone could climb on, and then down, 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 down his neck they would slide until they landed on his back. Bump! Yttap winked. Patty knew that it should be fun. The giraffe wanted her to climb on his back. They started down Saint Germain. Patty said,
I want some people I know to come along.
Yttap stopped. Wendy and Cindy and Kevin climbed on. Bump, bump, bump. All four joggled along on Yttap's back to the end of Montreal. Bonnie and Frisky followed happily along. The giraffe jogged on and on and on, past big buildings and little buildings, over hills and through tunnels, until...
What's that ahead?
asked Patty.
Is that a circus?
Yttap squinted his eyes against the sun and nodded slowly as if he wasn't quite sure. Patty poked Wendy. As Yttap hurried over the dirt road, the circus wagons grew bigger and bigger and bigger. Toucan asked the clown,
"Why do you look so sad?"
The clown said,
"No one will give us a place for our circus."
Patty jumped down from Yttap's back.
My name is Patty. What's yours?
She asked the clown.
"I have no name. Everyone in the circus calls me Sad Clown."
He said,
"I'm sad because no one will give us a place where we can make children happy."
We will find you a place, Patty said. Everybody follow Yttap and me.
Elephants follow the acrobats, who follow the tigers, who follow the trapeze artists, who follow the bareback riders, who followed the band, who followed Patty and Yttap into town. They went from house to house. They knocked on many doors. At the corner house, a trapeze artist asked,
"Do you know where we can have a circus?"
No,
the woman said.
but if you find a place, let me know. My children would love to go.
Toucan tapped the shoulder of a newspaper boy.
"Do you know where we can have a circus?"
"No,
The boy replied.
but if you find a place, let me know. I'd love to come along."
Sad Clown sighed.
"I told you, no one will give us a place for our circus."
Patty and Yttap led the circus down the street. Toucan pointed to an empty lot.
"Look!
He said,
We have the circus. We can have the circus there."
Good,
shouted the fat lady.
good.
Cried the gymnast.
"Good."
Boomed the band leader. A man on the bulldozer stopped.
"What are you doing?"
He asked. Toucan said,
"We're going to have a circus."
The man slowly shook his head.
I'm sorry, but I'm building a new home for my family. If you find a place, let me know. My children love the circus.
Sad Clown sobbed.
I told you, no one will give us a place for our circus.
Patty and Yttap led the circus down the street. Toucan said,
Patty, you're smart. You can think of a place to have a circus.
Yttap nodded his head. Patty said,
I'm thinking as hard as I can.
she thought and thought and thought and thought. Where, oh where, could they have a circus? The giraffe stretched his long neck as far as he could. Toucan could see far away.
Look,
Toucan shouted.
there's a big shopping center. That's where we can have our circus.
The giraffe hurried. The lions roared. The balloon man blew up 40 balloons. The gymnasts jumped and turned flips in the air. Everyone clattered into the shopping center after Yttap and Patty. Elephants practiced around the ring, keeping time to the music. Men put up high wires between the drugstore and the supermarket. Trapeze artists practiced swinging back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Suddenly, delivery trucks screeched to a halt. Cars stopped. Shoppers stared. Shop owners yelled.
We are sorry, you cannot have your circus here.
No one can deliver food. No one can buy food.
A tear rolled down Sad Clown's cheek as he said,
I told you, no one will give us a place for our circus.
Patty, are you thinking about a place?
asked Toucan. Patty replied,
I'm thinking as hard as I can.
Cindy thought, Kevin thought, Yttap thought, everyone thought, the animal trainer, the fat lady, the strong man, even the trapeze man thought. Patty asked herself,
Who loves the circus the most?
Yttap stretched his long neck, pointed his head in the direction of a building, and winked. Patty said,
Yttap, you've given me the answer. Follow me.
Yttap and Patty led the circus down the street and around the corner to a school. Children hung out the windows and cheered. Teachers clapped. The principal said,
The big tent can go on the baseball field.
everyone they had met came to the circus.
Who found the place?
They asked. Sad Clown said.
Patty and Yttap.
They all cheered. Hooray for Patty! Hooray for Yttap! Inside the big tent, trapeze artists sailed hundreds of feet through the air. The crowd oohed and ahed. Elephants kept perfect time to the music. Everyone clapped so loud they could hardly hear the music. And who rode a tiny tricycle around the ring, pulled 100 balloons out of his hat, and made everyone laugh? Sad Clown, and for the first time he smiled.
Now no one can ever call me a sad clown again.
He said.
But now I have no name.
Patty said.
You can share my name if you'd like to.
Oh, thank you.
The clown said. The clown gave Patty the girl a wide smile. The band played on. Jugglers spun 100 plates into the air. Mouths dropped open. The strong man lifted up 1,000 pounds over his head. Everyone gasped. Lions leaped through blazing hoops of fire. Heads shook in amazement. Toucan was having such a good old time he decided to stay, but the giraffe started home with Patty and Wendy and Cindy and Kevin. Bonnie and Frisky followed happily along. The clapping and the cheering of the crowd grew further and further and further away. When they got home, Patty gave Yttap a big hug around the neck. Yttap smiled. Patty gave him an extra squeeze and whispered in his ear,
Hurry back. You're my very best friend.
Yttap gave her a long, slow wink.